This movie had me going, whoa, and then whoa, and then whoa, and then back to whoa. Cha dudes, this is old, new, and now playing. Hello and welcome to Old, New, and Now Playing, your time machine through the world of movies. I'm your host, Will Robinson Smith. Thank you so much for joining me, and we finally reached the end of our animation week. Guys, we started off with Dumbo, we continued with Akira, and now we conclude things with some familiar fish in Finding Dory. But before we get ready to hit the open waters with that review, let's start things off, as we always do, with a bit of movie news in our first segment, The Rundown.
Say it. Don't you say it.
Left.
Come on!
In this rundown, we're talking about rappers, musicals, and musical musicians, so let's get right into it. In time for what would have been his 45th birthday, the first teaser trailer for the Tupac Shakur biopic has been released. The movie is called All Eyes on Me, and will hit theaters in time to mark the 20th anniversary of Tupac's murder in Las Vegas. The 1-minute trailer doesn't give too much away about the film, but does show moments from his childhood, as well as when he was a more established rapper with a poignant line from his mother.
They are gonna give you the tools that you need to destroy yourself.
I'm straight proud.
According to Collider, Jamal Willard, who played Notorious B.I.G. in the 2009 film Notorious, will reprise his role in this movie. However, instead of Anthony Mackie, acting newcomer Demetrius Shipp Jr. will step into the iconic rapper's shoes. Considering I'm not the biggest rap fan out there, I wasn't jumping up and down about this project like I'm sure some of you out there are, but I really liked last year's Straight Outta Compton, so I'm excited to see what this project could be. I'm curious to see if it's going to be able to pull in the same amount of audiences and get the kind of critical response that Straight Outta Compton did, so we'll just have to see later this year how this all plays out. Next, 13 years after its first performance, the Broadway smash hit Wicked is set to get its own movie. Stephen Daldry is set to direct the film with Mark Platt producing. According to Variety, both produced the long-running stage show, which won 3 Tony Awards. The musical follows the story of Elphaba and Glinda, revealing truths about the characters not seen in the original Wizard of Oz. The movie will be made through Universal and is set for a December 20th, 2019 release date. I finally got the chance to see this show a few years ago in San Francisco, and honestly, it was a bit overhyped, but it's still a really excellent show, so I'm excited to see this movie adaptation. Now if they could just get to Hamilton. And finally, in a Deadline exclusive, Lady Gaga is in early talks to join the Warner Brothers remake of A Star is Born. Originally made in 1937 starring Frederick March and Janet Gaynor, the movie is about a declining movie star who comes across a young singer and helps launch her career even as his continues to falter. Bradley Cooper is attached to make his directorial debut with the project, which was originally hoping to cast Beyoncé in the leading female role. The last time this movie had a remake was back in 1976, and according to Deadline, Warner Brothers has been trying to get this remake off the ground for some time, so if they are able to get Lady Gaga on board, we'll see if that's really able to catalyze this thing and the ball will start rolling, so just have to wait and see how this all plays out. But guys, now that you're all caught up on the news, let's head straight into our main segment, your feature presentation. Finding Dory is the sequel to the beloved 2003 Pixar film Finding Nemo. The movie takes the previously side character of Dory, voiced by Ellen DeGeneres, and places her front and center. The movie focuses on Dory's sudden realization that she has a family and goes on the hunt to find them. On the surface, this movie seemed almost dangerously close to the plot of Finding Nemo, and so I was worried that this film might fall into the sequel trap of just rehashing what worked in the first movie. And while it seemed like that might be the case early on in the film, those concerns very quickly went away. Unlike the first movie, we don't spend much time scouring the ocean. Instead, the bulk of this movie takes place in a marine life institute in California. While this movie does give you satisfying nods to characters and situations from Finding Nemo, it doesn't try to push the nostalgia button too hard, which is a good thing. Instead, it introduces you to new characters that have big personalities and lets you spend a lot of time with them. Far and away, the biggest new addition to this world is Hank. He's a 7-armed octopus who Dory runs into at the Marine Life Institute. Voiced by Ed O'Neill, who plays Jay Pritchett on Modern Family, Hank has been hardened by life's challenges and losing an arm, but reluctantly agrees to help Dory try and find her parents. Think of Hank like a mashup of the pragmatism of Mike Wazowski, the big-heartedness of Sully, and the morphing abilities of Randall Boggs from Monsters, Inc. The rest of the new supporting cast really shines here as well, whether it's Ty Burrell's Bailey, a beluga whale whose echolocation is on the fritz, or Idris Elba as a sea lion.
Mate, don't you worry.
Gerald, get off the rock! Get off!
Don't you worry about a thing.
And as great as all the side characters are, they really are a vehicle to let the movie's star, Ellen DeGeneres' Dory, shine. In Finding Nemo, Dory was an important aid to Marlin as he searched the ocean for Nemo, but definitely felt like a sidekick. And going into this movie, I was a bit worried about whether or not a supporting character could carry a whole film. This time around, you really get more of a context for what Dory's memory problems really mean for her life, and why she's so driven to find her parents. I won't give away any spoilers, but the movie does a good job of making it clear as to why this is only an issue now, 1 year after the events of Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo director Andrew Stanton, who is also the voice of Crush the Turtle, returns for this project and clearly has a solid grasp on these characters. The performance he is able to get from DeGeneres is nothing short of wonderful and extremely nuanced. I was really sucked into the mindset of Dory and honestly got tearful at times watching her navigate that role. But beyond expanding a world of great characters and having a really compelling story, this movie also pushes the boundaries of what you think is possible with fish and marine mammals. It felt like the animators were solving fun puzzles as they went about bringing the story to life, and clearly were having a good time with it. Overall, I give Finding Dory a 9 out of 10. It wasn't quite the practically perfect sequel that Toy Story 3 was, but it came really close. My only real complaint was that it felt a bit slow at the top, but that was a small footnote in an otherwise outstanding movie. And I won't give away any major details, but the short at the beginning of this film was a big part of my enjoyment of the overall experience, and so I think it's one that you'll find adorable and really touching, like Pixar tends to do with their shorts. And if you were curious, yes, there is an end credits scene, so go ahead and sit down and just, wait through all the 10,000 people it takes to make a Pixar film. You'll be fine. It's worth the wait. Trust me. And so, guys, those are my thoughts on Finding Dory. When you've had a chance to see it, I would love to hear your comments about it. And of course, what are some of your favorite Pixar movies? I'd love to hear all about that in the comments section. I know I'm still waiting for the sequel to one of my favorites. Can it be 2019 already? Come on, Brad Bird. That will do it for this episode of Old, New, and Now Playing. Remember, if you ever have a movie-related question you want to have featured on the show, you can always tweet at me. My handle is @W_Robinson-Smith. Just use the hashtag PopTweets so I know it's a question you want to have possibly featured on the show. Or you can always send me an email at oldnewnowplaying@gmail.com. Just put PopTweets question in the subject line. And guys, next week we're going to be getting Independence Day Resurgence, and so you better believe we're going to be talking about the original on this show. And since I guess we're doing a sci-fi week, we'll throw a little Invasion of the Body Snatchers in there as well. And I'll have that review on Monday. I'll see you guys then.